How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the Liberty Bowl. It is, of course, live stream Friday. As we do every Friday, we come together here. We talk about the news, talk about politics, culture, what the hell's going on in the fall of Western society, and of course, come down from a long, hard week of working our asses off, and we smoke a little bit of herb and have a good time. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Liberty Swine. How have you been doing this week, man?
Damn fine. Enjoying the fucking bake in the sun. We got a little break yesterday. It was 90.
Right,
Good times, dude. Other than that, celebrating this Flag Day, and of course, first one, right?
right.
Happy birthday, old Trumpsicles.
All right, yeah. Of course, it is Donald Trump's birthday today. You know, obviously we ain't looking at the age too much. We ain't trying to look at too much how old he is, how many candles are on that cake. Um,
He
but
just
yeah,
gets one big, fat, solid gold one.
right, yeah. But yeah, happy birthday, Donald Trump. We appreciate you. America appreciates you. But
There's
gotta
C's and fucking happy birthday, old glories, dude.
right. It is also Flag Day, right? Flags mean something. They're not just just a willy nilly, just I want representation of myself. Like no, flags mean something. They have a inherent power behind them, right? And that's the whole thing with the LGBTQ flag. Fucking, we've seen videos
BTQ
of people
slash dinosaurs.
all day burning out on those fucking on those flags, fucking murals all over the fucking country and shit. And all just as
Felony.
they recently started charging people with felony vandalism, right? Then again, if you desecrate a national monument, a statue, anything like that, as long as it's in the name of free Palestine, it's no
Okay,
problem. Then
fuck.
we ain't even gonna look into you, right? Right, or Saint Floyd. Don't forget
Mm-hmm.
about that, right? But
Equality.
right, it's just for new. I don't fucking know. Destroying America. Shit, they could even say that it's straight up for destroying America, and they'll still be like, it's free speech, man. Nothing to see here. I don't know why you guys are
Yep.
tripping, man.
The
Yep,
Camel Toes launches the fucking raise bail fucking campaign and all that.
yep, yep.
That's how she
And
rolls.
I don't know. It's not really anything on our list tonight, but when it comes to the all the people that are recently starting to do burnouts on all of these flags and shit like that because of the fact that they've made it illegal to basically drive on the streets that the LGBTQ weirdos have designated their territory. Um, we're seeing a lot more people starting to burn out all over the place on them, right? So I mean, this could be an act of I guess some sort of a civil disobedience for the most part. Obviously, they are charging it as a crime now, but I mean, some crimes or some laws are meant to be disobeyed, especially when they're very very unjust and very just un-American in general, right? Like
And
this,
it's just going to show you how goddamn sick and tired people are of the rainbow drivel, man. You know
right?
what I mean?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I guarantee these people aren't all just right wing extremists, right? But in terms of like I guess trying to uh, switch around, use the left wing tactics on them and stuff like that. I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of people like Tim Pool and stuff talking about basically like all the right wingers and stuff need to start basically pulling the left wing tactics, or not necessarily saying that, but saying like basically if the right wingers were to do like the blackout and shit like that. That it'd basically be the same thing. We'd be able to get stuff accomplished in the same way that the left does, but in reality, it's that it doesn't necessarily work that way, right? If we go and protest on the Capitol grounds, you
You're
already
getting
know what
shot with
happens there,
fucking flash grenades.
right? But then if you do it in the name of free Palestine, you're not even going to make the fucking local news. Like that's the double standard that we have, right? If we were to go desecrate some fucking national LGBTQ monument or what the fuck ever, they would hunt us down to the ends of the earth. They would throw
Right?
every single resource they have into finding out who the fuck we were, right?
Exactly like you're seeing with J6, right? Prime example, the one on top of everyone's minds is, right? But in reality, they hid the 3 day siege of the White House and made fun of the fact that the president at the time, Trump, had to be whisked off to a fucking presidential bunker. And they, Trump needed Secret Service. That's the Secret Service doing their job. Trump at
Right.
that point had no choice. It was,
Yep.
we're protecting your life whether you want us to or not. That's the way they roll. And like you said, that right there was completely hidden. If anyone saw shit, it was, Trump had people removed so he could go to a church. They burned down the fucking 120-year-old church.
Right. Yeah. And then they want to do like, oh, he just had it cleared out so he could do a photo shoot.
Right. That was a real insurrection. 3-day
Right.
siege of the White House.
Right. Right. Nope. Absolutely nothing. Nothing about that. Right. It's we're living in a police state, people. It's not fair. It's not, well, we could just do the same stuff they're doing and then we'll get the same stuff accomplished. Just not like that's not how it works in this type of a situation.
Right. Everyone's
It's
gonna rot in a fucking prison cell.
right. It really, I guess it's probably just because a lot of us don't want to use that O word, right? We're being oppressed right now, you guys. For real. Like when you really think about it, like, yes, we are being oppressed. Like in an actual political sense, we are being politically oppressed,
Yeah. And it's crazy that you'll have people on both sides of the aisle like, oh, you don't know real oppression. You go to a Middle East. We're not talking about that kind of
Right.
oppression. We're talking about like you said, political oppression that violates the founding fucking principles of this country. Not
Right.
fucking, oh, there's people worse off. That's neither here nor there.
Right. They're not in America. Well, that's not our fucking problem, right? This type of shit is not supposed to be happening here. Right. That's the entire point. Like there's not, the law is not supposed to look at anybody based on their views, their beliefs, their opinions. They're not supposed to look at them. They're supposed to look at people objectively. And just, law is supposed to be blind. Right. But obviously we're seeing that's not exactly the case. All right. But let's see. We had quite a few things actually going on this week. We got a Ukrainian non-governmental organizations that basically put together a list of definitely not an enemies list. Right? they make very clear for whatever reason that this list is not a list of our enemies. Right? This is a list of people of United States citizens that are impeding the flow of money
Transfer of your money.
right into Ukraine, right? As if we owe them or something like that, as if basically we're holding up their entitlements, right? We don't give a fuck about you guys, right? Go fuck yourself. That's what we've been saying from the beginning of it. And 100 and some odd $billion later, we're still saying the exact same thing, right? See, we also got Hunter Biden. Right. Go ahead.
I was going to say you could tie that right into the deal that Biden just went ahead and approved with the fucking 10-year funding, man.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I feel like more funding for Ukraine, more funding for everybody. Right. So obviously Joe Biden is trying to continue funding for Ukraine because of course that's his cash cow. Right. It's I don't know. It's basically just his piggy bank where he goes and sends his family members to go ahead and do foreign business, and that way they could get their kickbacks and 10% for the big guy, right? But yeah, so basically Biden is trying to make it to where Donald Trump can't stop funding for Ukraine, right? Which is basically leave Donald Trump with the only option of ending the war. And so, however that ends up playing out, it's obviously they're trying to continue to kick this can down the road, as we've seen they've done multiple times already. Whether it's stalling peace talks, which we'll also be talking a little bit about. Russia has basically offered an ultimatum to Ukraine, and it's basically what you would expect. We'll allow you to get your people, to get your personnel out of the Donbass, the Lugansk. Pretty much the land bridge to fucking Crimea. We'll allow you to get your people out of there safely. No harm will come to them. And the land is ours. End of the war. I mean, pretty much an ultimatum. Either that, or we could continue stomping the shit out of you until you have literally no people left. Right.
Not to mention we have tactical nukes.
Right. That's been an option. That's an option that the Russians have put out there quite a few times since the start of this, right? They've hinted at the fact we got tactical nukes. We ain't fucking around. We were willing to use them. All right.
6,700 warheads.
Right. Yeah, that ain't no joke. That's no fucking Chinese New Year firecrackers. Tell you what. We also got, and I don't know. Well, we'll talk about the political implications and stuff like that. But Hunter Biden has been found guilty on all 3 charges. Right. Of course, last week we were pretty much predicting that Joe Biden's pretty much got the jury intimidated or paid off or what have you. We also saw the descriptions of the jury members, and they all seemed pretty pro drug, pro
Blue
I guess right, pro blue hair, to put it in simple modern terms. So yeah, a bit of a shock, right? What again? It's the fact that the left-wing media is talking about it so heavily, and the fact that they're like, "Oh, woe is us," it's very telling, right? So yeah, we'll be talking about the political implications of what that might mean, because of course Joe Biden has said that he is going to respect the decision. He is not going to pardon his son. All right, so we'll talk about what that might mean, especially as he is facing other charges next month in another trial next month. So if he's found guilty on that, really it's a tax fraud charge. And so basically the good part about that is it was going to get into Hunter Biden's financials, which we all know Hunter Biden's financials are pretty well clearly connected to the big guy. That's who we're actually going after
entities.
Here. Right.
Almost every goddamn dime comes from some type of foreign entity, man.
Right. It's definitely not coming from his fucking finger paints. Tell you that much. Right.
Watercolors.
Right. Fucking, I did this with my penis. Get your fucking dick away, Hunter.
Right.
Right. We also got Merrick Garland was held in contempt of Congress for refusing to bring out the audio files or the audio tapes of the Joe Biden interview with who was it, Robert Hur? That was the special counsel.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, with Robert Hur, where basically they got the transcripts. Obviously, Joe Biden even sounded like an idiot in the transcripts, and later on, it was found out that the transcripts themselves were actually doctored. Right, so he's trying to cite executive orders saying that, or executive privilege, basically saying, "Oh, you guys got the transcripts." Well, basically, we're saying we got the transcripts. Why not release the fucking tapes now? Right. And so they're basically subpoenaing the Department of Justice to go ahead and release the tapes. Merrick Garland is stonewalling. So they basically held him in contempt of Congress. And the DOJ has said that they are not going to prosecute. Pretty predictable.
Executive privilege.
Right. They basically said that there's no crimes here. There's nothing going on, nothing to see. Right. So, pretty much to be expected. We'll be talking about the obvious double standard of justice, seeing as Steve Bannon has basically been ordered to go to jail for, what is it, 4 months? Yeah. Right. Yeah, right. And Peter Navarro.
For exactly the same thing.
The exact same shit. Right? Good times. Welcome to the fucking fall of Western civilization. We also got Russian subs, or not necessarily Russian subs. I think there might have been a sub, but basically Russian warships came to go visit Cuba. All right. Reportedly, they got up to about 30 miles off the coast of Florida. I believe they're going to be there from the 12th until the 17th. And we don't know what's going on, right? Of course, it is
700 warheads.
Right. Right. Of course, this is coming amid escalations with the Biden administration, as basically they had authorized the use of United States weapons in the land of Russia. Right. So again, just a further escalation in this, what is seeming to be a forever war, right, from the Biden's administration. Did you freeze up there, or did I freeze up?
I don't know. I think it's you, buddy.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Oh,
But yeah. So bit of an escalation in that. We'll be talking about possible World War III, 60 some hundred fucking nukes. We'll be talking about all that. We'll be touching briefly on Katie Hobbs, the piece of shit governor of Arizona, allegedly. All right. So basically, she is being investigated in a alleged pay to play scheme. Right. We've seen quite a few of these, especially in places like New York, when it comes to the housing development stuff like that. So basically, Katie Hobbs is, I guess, being investigated for a pay to play scheme, where basically this fuck, I forget exactly what they're called, but basically what they do is they take in foster kids. That's their business. It's taking in fucking foster kids. They run the state puppy mill with people's children, right? And of course they collect tax revenue off of that. And so basically they take their money, they reinvest it into Katie Hobbs' campaign. And basically, if you don't contribute to Katie Hobbs' campaign, you ain't getting none of those government contracts, right? That's obviously illegal, and is what's called a pay to play scheme. And yep, now Katie Hobbs is being investigated for that. So it could be serious, could go nowhere. I mean, of course, the person that is trying to investigate it is gosh, I forget the name, but it is not the actual attorney general, because of course the attorney general is a piece of shit scumbag, and the attorney general has sent a letter basically saying, I see what you guys are doing. You better not be looking into that, because I'm looking into that already. Don't worry, we're investigating it over here. It's constitutionally our job to investigate it, so stop looking into it. You know what that means, but possible investigation into Katie Hobbs, right? So that could be a good thing. Never know. We also got Alex Jones has basically been forced to sell InfoWars, and possibly even his social media accounts be seized. I don't see how that's possible, but that is the extent that the government is attempting to go. Basically, using the families of the Sandy Hook tragedy to, I guess, go after Alex Jones, go after one of the political dissidents that is really a thorn in their side. And they're basically making Alex Jones sell any possible money-making endeavor that he may have, which is needed in order to pay back the families of the people that have won this clearly politicized, multi-billion-dollar fucking judgment against Alex Jones, right? So obviously we'll be talking about what that means in terms of the government being able to seize your shit. Let's see. We also got the bump stock ban. All right, one of my, I guess, big grievances against the old Big Don himself, right? The bump stock ban has been overturned. It's been basically thrown to the fucking wolves. Same thing with the just like they did with the pistol brace ban. Same damn thing with the bump stock ban, right? So bump stocks are going to be a thing again. People get bump stocks. Again, it was completely unconstitutional in the first place. It was in response to the Las Vegas shooting, and basically a lot of people are just kind of using the cope as everyone was screaming for some sort of fucking gun control action. Basically, Donald Trump had to give them something, so he basically banned bump stocks. Unfortunately, this opened the door for the ATF to try and ban every fucking piece they want now, like anything, down to fucking springs, fucking different stocks, pistol braces. They're trying to, magazines. They're trying to ban anything they can now, right? So basically, this being shot down is a good thing, right? But what we're going to be starting with tonight is the National Defense Authorization Act of 2025. It's still being deliberated on right now, but either way, it's got some provisions in there. It really is kind of a Republican wish list that they basically went ahead and passed through, and we'll see if it makes it through the Senate. I highly doubt it because, of course, there is a few quote unquote culture war provisions in there, right? So basically, one of the big things that is, I guess, kind of pretty controversial is the so basically ever since the 70s, our selective service has been basically kind of an honor system thing. Like, oh, you're supposed to sign up for selective service when you're
80.
between these ages
They put it in an 80.
in 80. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's right. So basically, it's kind of like an honor thing, like, or an honor system type thing. Like, oh, whenever you turn this age, whenever you turn 18, you're supposed to sign up for selective service, and yada yada yada. Problem is, most young people don't. Right? Fuck that. I'm gonna go die for these fucking rich motherfucking fat cats sitting fucking office, with their national defense contracts with our fucking taxpayer money, right? But so basically, there nobody's really doing it, right? Nobody's actually signing up for it. So what they're doing is they basically made it to where it's automatic, right? If you are age 18 to 26, you are automatically signed up for the draft. You didn't even have to do anything, right? Yippee! So whenever the shit ends up hitting the fan, in these, big global conflicts that Joe Biden has been starting for the last 4 years, uh, they're going to come to your house. They're going to drag you out of bed. They're going to throw you in a fucking van, and they're going to give you a fucking gun. Hopefully, they'll give you fucking bullets with it, and they're going to throw you out on the front line and say, "Go get them, Tiger." So all of these fucking, Gen Z with their fucking their Ukraine flags and their fucking pro Palestine this and that shit, all over here talking about like, oh, it's never gonna end up happening, right? That's well, we're not gonna go fight anything like that. Like, I don't think you guys are actually looking through any sort of scope of reality on this, like, at all. If the government wants you to go fucking fight, they are going to make you fight, right? I don't know. What's your thoughts on the automatic selective service, man? There's a few more other things in there we'll go through, but we'll start with this one.
You got kind of a fucking mixed thought on it. You know what I mean? I mean, being signed up for the selective service is one thing. You're supposed to be ready, to defend your country. Yada yada. That's the responsible thing to do, the patriotic, civic thing. But at the same time, it'll be used for ranks when they need to, meet at the grinder. I mean, they're missing. I mean, they got fucking
You're freezing a little bit.
white rage instead of how to kill, basically, and missing that mark for recruitment. And this is the only way that they can offset that, because people are too smart these days, right? I mean, it's one thing to defend your country, but it's different to be sent off to die for fucking Ukraine.
All right. Yeah, just for fucking any other country in general.
Yeah, but I
Any
mean, that's
country
what
that's
we
not your
do.
own.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if we never have war on our own behalf, it's always in some other country. For
Right.
the vast majority of the time, some shit that has nothing to do with us. Almost every conflict we've been involved in for the past, like 60 years, has been internal conflicts, civil wars, and shit.
Yep.
Yeah, and I just sent you an article on X, man, while you were talking. I didn't want to interrupt, but you were talking about the Alex Jones shit. There was just an update on that, where judge dismisses, a portion of that bankruptcy shit. They're not going to liquidate. They're going to make him sell his personal assets, but they're basically like, for right now, how that goes.
Yeah. Basically, it's going to be got everything in my mama's name. Pretty much. That's what he's going to have to do, man. For any actual asset that he has himself, they're basically going to make that dude sell off.
It's supposed to be, right, against cruel and unusual punishment. exorbitant fines, and how is 1.4 billion not cruel and unusual punishment and an exorbitant fine?
All right. Clearly, politicized,
And for speech, I mean, regardless if you think it's abhorrent, you could think he's the biggest piece of shit in the world, man. You know what I'm saying? But he stated his opinion, and it was fucking, 12 years ago? You know what I mean? And now they're like, oh, we're coming for all your shit, buddy.
Right.
I mean, it's a basic, just trying to get him off the inner zones.
Yeah.
The coordinated removal didn't work. InfoWars, the site or the app at the time, right? If you got the desktop, it fucking, it just got bigger. And then Elon reinstating him to X. That was it.
Right. Yeah. If I can, I don't know what. We'll get into that in a little bit. I want to switch back to the conscription. And basically, like I say, all these Gen Z people saying, "Oh, it's not going to happen here." Let me just give you an example of what it looks like. These are basically videos from Ukraine, and these are the military commissioners basically coming to pick up people that are of fighting age, but that don't want to go fight. Right? It's not like this stuff actually happens anywhere, right?
Да молодец, все было начинать надо. А? А як огороди отжимати? А право власності отжимати ти любиш, да? Ти право власності? Я тебе тикав. Да тикав. Тикав. Ты закрой пасть, блядь. Тварь, блядь. Да, что, злякався, да? Да, сильний базар.
Camera there, they were like, yo, it's a camera, son.
Руки беріть, говорю. Руки приберіть. Руки приберіть. Я до вас не доту. Руки приберіть. Я до вас не доту. Руки приберіть. Я буду... Поїхали. Я до вас. Ви не так говорите. А тепер послухай. Ми цю хату.
Oh, they found him.
Дай сада, на, блядь! На, сука, нахуй, ёбаный! Готов? Да стреляй, нахуй! Стреляй, сука, блядь! Ёбаный шамрёт, блядь! Стреляй, нахуй! Иди, сука, блядь! Надо, ты ёбаный, блядь! Блядь! Дай ты что с автоматом, нахуй, пойди! Блядь!
Run, Forrest, run!
Slow motion.
All right. Let's see, there's a couple other good ones in here. Yep, it's definitely. Don't worry, they're definitely not gonna do that. These stuff that these provisions that they're adding into the National Defense Authorization Act. It's purely just hypothetical. They're not gonna have to do this. I mean, they haven't like I said, done anything even similar or even look into the selective service provisions for like 30, 40 years. 40 fucking years. So yeah, I'm sure it's just routine, right? They're definitely not considering anything like this. Yeah, they're gonna pick your ass up just like that. They're going to force you into the fucking van, and you going. you're going, motherfucker. Like, this is what it looks like.
I mean, just like the 2012 National Defense Authorization Act that fucking Obama signed, that added in indefinite detention without charge or trial. You see, it, people were that's only going to be used for like terrorists and stuff. I mean, of course, the left
Right.
would think that anyone involved were terrorists, like regardless of the earlier shit we just mentioned. But you saw that just used on January 6th, people, and we're not talking just people that were in there getting crazy or the people that you saw in the 15 seconds of edited shit from the committee. I mean, we're talking unsuspecting people that were, the doors are open in the people's house. They walked in. These fools were thrown in cages and held in solitary confinement for fucking months before they were charged with anything. And that's what was used for it. So don't think that this one won't be used against you.
All right. So there are even reports of fucking, essentially torture, during the winter season where they're basically turning off the heater, all right? Basically making them, tough it out in the cold, right? A lot of these people, they're not, hardened criminals. They're not fucking, insurrectionists as they'd be made to believe, right? They're just regular fucking people that, decided to go to a political protest that ended up getting out of hand, right? So yeah, it's
after the cops fired fucking flash grenades into an unsuspecting crowd.
right.
But, they'll leave that part out forever. And for anyone that's ever interested, of course, I have the fucking footage.
All right. Yep. But yeah, basically they don't do this type of stuff without having a reason for it. Even if it's even if they don't imply, even if they tell you absolutely, there's definitely no reason. Look at the fucking the beachhead that they established on fucking on Gaza, right? They're already starting to get fucking people shooting at them and shit. Basically their whole thing is just just duck. Just duck, right? All these people, don't worry, we're doing humanitarian aid. Then why the fuck are they shooting at you? You're over there trying to fucking drop them off meals and food and supplies and shit like that. What the fuck are they shooting at you for? Right?
Trying to build them a fucking $350 million dock that was a complete failure. That again, they were shooting at you the whole time.
Right.
Fuck.
Absolutely fucking ridiculous, man. But yeah, basically they don't do any of this stuff without an actual purpose, right? They wanted them to get shot at, because then of course if anybody gets hurt, then we get to we got shot at, and I don't know, humanitarian aid worker was killed in Gaza or whatever. There you go, more war support, right?
Yeah, but with this situation here, man, just so people know, I know that people tend to conflate the right with the blue line fucking rereads, right? And while a necessary evil, we've spoke on this in length before. It'll be the police that are coming to drag you out of your fucking house for conscription. It won't be the military. Here, in America, of course, we do have laws that say the military can't be used against fucking civilians, which, has rarely been broken, right? But the police will gladly do it. And if you think not, I mean, fuck, it's, like you said earlier, they're arresting kids for, riding mopeds on fucking painted flags on the road.
Yep. Absolutely fucking disgraceful. They're fucking, the motto of all police departments should be just following orders.
I was just doing my jobs.
Right. Yep. Like, and there's a reason that there's an IQ cap on police officers, right? There's a reason that you can't be too fucking intelligent or too quick at problem solving. If you want to be,
and there's a reason that they've lowered that threshold.
Right. Yeah. They don't want anybody actually, coming to any sort of conclusions for themselves. They don't want them to actually stop and think for a second that, like, wait a minute, I'm arresting and charging a fucking 12-year-old kid with felonies for riding a scooter. Like, they don't want you to actually stop and think, like a normal fucking human being would, right? They want you to go out there and be the fucking brown shirts, go out there and fucking bust skulls.
Right, but the concept, regardless of what anyone wants to argue, is better than the libertarian fucking. Well, you could just like not get your income tax and buy your own personal securities.
Right. Yep. But so speaking of hiring securities, so another provision or another part of this would basically be pay raises, right? Pay raises for basically all military personnel. 4.5% pay raise for all current service members, and a 15% pay raise for junior enlisted members, right? Yeah, I don't know all the fucking military terminology and shit like that, but I'm assuming that means basically people that come in and sign up for their first couple years of service. I guess the 15% increase on that. All right. Again, I'm pretty sure that this is something to do with the fact that their numbers are low and they are clearly seeing conflict on the horizon. Right. So just more worrisome neocon warmonger type of stuff to worry about. Again, a lot of this stuff could be taken out within the Senate. What was that?
Okay with the raise, dude.
Right. Yeah. I mean the whole thing is
they're willing to go across.
Hey, what? I think you're breaking up a little bit.
I mean, I support the raise. You know what I mean?
Right. Like I said, it's not necessarily the problem with the raise. If anything, the people that are actually against the raise is the Biden administration. Right. The Biden administration basically put out a statement saying that, we've actually looked into all the money, the pay schedules and stuff. And actually, no, it's actually really good. We I don't think they need a raise right now. And then basically the Republicans' argument back is well, your economy is fucking destroying people's lives, right? So people need raises right now. All right. So yeah, I'm not against it either.
Not to mention that, I mean, you see, like when they signed the fucking packages for Ukraine, months later, the DOD's all of a sudden like, oh, there was a misaccounting haps, you know what I mean? And we found an extra $10 billion. Send that over there too, man, while you're at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, what about the fucking servicemen that are, you got them sleeping in cots in the desert, thousands of miles away from their family on the holidays for fucking $1,500 a month or whatever, dude. Right. You know what I mean? Fuck.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it's actually it's only $9 billion more than the NDAA from last year, right? So it's $895.2 billion. Right. So yeah, at least it's fucking what, like 90% more than we paid fucking Ukraine, or 900% more than we paid fucking Ukraine. So at least we're spending a bit more on us, all right? It's still fucking ridiculous amount that we're sending overseas, right? Again, we spend roughly around 900 billion on our military. We've already spent over 100 billion on Ukraine's military, who don't know where the money fucking went, right?
Yeah, and that's part of the plan too. We spoke on that before as well, man. I mean, it's kind of a refresh. We depleted fucking old stock. And now we're going to pay our war contractors to fucking manufacture some new tech and, replenish the fucking ammo and,
Yep.
It's the circle of fucking, war machine life, dude.
the circle of death. That's what it is.
Circle
of death. Yeah, that's fucking Lord of War shit, man. But yeah. So again, a lot of our stuff, America's stuff is very well kept secret. I mean, it's, that is one thing that I'll give the military is we don't know shit about what the fuck they're doing, or what the fuck they have, or what the fuck they're spending money on. We don't know what the fuck our military is doing, but I probably guess it's some pretty deadly shit. So there's that. Yeah. Let's see. So the lefties are having a conniption fit over it in terms of some of the more cultural or culture war, provisions and earmarks and stuff that are included in the National Defense Authorization Act. For one, it blocks funding for basically sending military personnel to other states in order to get abortions when abortions are not readily available in their state, right? Or perhaps legal in their state. Seeing with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, is now up to the states to basically decide what their states allow, right? So if that doesn't work in the state where you're currently stationed, they will pay to send you to another state to go ahead and make sure you get that fucking baby sucked on out of you, right? So they're trying to block that provision. They're trying to basically block the government from paying for it, because their obvious citation is, how does this keep America safe? What does this have to do with the safety of Americans? Like, how?
That's the reason these fucking bills are thousands.
Yeah, I think we're frozen. My computer's probably real shitty and slow tonight. I got like 20 fucking tabs open. You still there, man? Yeah.
Sure, man.
Yeah. My computer fucking sucks. I also got like 20 different fucking tabs open with different articles and shit. But yeah, my computer's running like shit. But see, another more
technical and the difficulty in these.
Right. Another provision that they're trying to basically get is they're trying to block transgender surgery and cross-sex hormones for our military personnel. Right. Again, citing, how does this keep Americans safe? What does this have to do? Again, this is elective surgery that you were choosing to get. Right. What does this have to do with keeping Americans safe? And why do Americans have to pay for it? All right. And then the other one is they're basically putting a stop to all DEI offices. Right. They're shutting down the entire DEI division of the military, and just all out. Right. So again, it is kind of a bit of a wish list of things that the United States or that I guess the Republican wing of the Congress wants. Of course, there was 3 holdouts from the Republican side. I'll see if I could find them real quick. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of them. Thomas Massey was another one, and there's one more that I can't remember right now. But there was basically 3 holdouts from the Republican side, and 6 Democrats went ahead and voted with the Republicans for this. So it's mostly along party lines. Obviously the spending money on blowing up foreign, little brown kids is usually a pretty bipartisan, deal within the Congress. They're usually both pretty on board with spending as much money as they possibly can on that. So again, the whole thing is the culture war, right? So the question that I'm now asking is, do you think it's a stunt, or do you think it's because obviously the biggest complaint against Republicans is that we don't do anything, right? We don't try and sneak in fucking poison pills like the Democrats do into shit like that. Where basically we could say like, oh well, you guys shot down the National Defense Authorization Act, right? So what do you expect us to do? So I don't know. What's your thoughts? Do you think it's a political stunt, or do you think it's Republicans actually trying to fix some shit for once?
Republicans trying to fix it in Congress, including won't bring this shit up for actually trying to cut pork, man. I mean, it's gone too fucking far, and like you just said, all this shit in there has absolutely nothing to do with defense or America as a whole. And this is the smallest subsect of the population, and we're bending fucking not only the whole structure of our civilization, but like our economic fucking standing. Like, I mean, again, we're 36 trillion in debt, and it's like let's just pay for everyone to get their dicks cut off. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna help out. That's definitely what the military needs. I mean,
Right.
it's ridiculous. And then that's I was talking about the pay raise. Like, you want to attract some talent, right? Some people that know that not only that can they get a job afterwards, but that this could be something that you would keep as a job because it's fruitful if when you attain certain levels, right? But this is that kind of shit just attracts the worst. That's not the people that you want on the fucking front lines. You know what I mean?
Right.
For real. It's like fucking MASH, but if anyone's old enough to remember that shit, I mean, I suffered through it at Grams's house, but I definitely remember the tranny dude, and it was in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking mental illness.
All right, so hold on. I'm gonna try and refresh my page real quick, see if that helps it, because it's skipping around quite a bit.
Yeah, coming at you.
All right. So pretty much
Live.
trading places. Trading places. Yep. But yeah, so like I said, obviously there's a lot that's gonna get amended once it goes to the Senate, which the Senate's already drafting up their own version of the NDAA. So politics, man, it's fucking stupid, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, really, again, it's just kind of a bit of a wish list. We'll see how much of it ends up getting through, but
It's
it's
like a cut list. You know what I mean? It's trying to
right,
trim the fat, dude. But like you
right,
said, it's not going to pass. Obviously Congress is like, okay, we have control, but like again, you got rat face crying ass fucking Schumer leading the Senate. That's not gonna happen.
right. Yeah, like I said, they've already got their fucking fuck, I forgot.
It's a death cult, man.
All right.
But that's gonna save the planet.
Oh yeah, that was another thing that they were trying to remove too, was all the fucking climate change bullshit that the Biden administration is basically instilled into the military. Right? These people that go around and fucking blow up shit all over the fucking world and shit, but climate change. We don't want you emitting no extra CO2 than you guys need to, right? You fucking release toxic fucking plumes of fucking burning human flesh into the atmosphere, but you watch your carbon footprint.
Right. They fly fucking mad private jets carrying limos to destinations around the planet to meet up and talk about it.
Right. armored limos, right?
Yeah.
Fucking multiple tons of fucking limousine. Right. But you gotta watch your carbon footprint. Yep. It's gonna be
You definitely got to turn your hair up. 78s.
Right. Plant some trees to offset your carbon emissions. But
Not anymore. Now trees are bad, dude. With Bill Gates, bro. We gotta cut down the trees and bury them in caves, bro. So that one of us is. Wow, there's a greening of the planet happening.
Is
that your computer or my inner zones? What's cracking?
I don't know. It keeps cutting out, man. But I check on the stream, see how that's coming through.
Yeah, but there's a mass greening, bro, of the planet right now. I mean, you can see it as the carbon levels have gotten higher. I mean, you lived here in Arizona your whole life, bro. Just look outside. I mean, I know, like, over here, the view is starting to get cut off because the tree line's raised. You know what I mean? And I've lived here for years, and it's been the same fucking view.
All right. Well, I mean, that's the way it goes, you know. Fucking, that's what plants breathe. It's how they thrive. It's fucking CO2.
It's what plants crave.
Right. Right. Yeah, we really are in fucking idiocracy, dude. Like they,
Right.
like the plants need to be fucking put in caves and underground. That's what they crave. I don't think that makes any sense.
Right. This guy's a software developer, man. Why are we listening to this guy? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And people just go fucking mad with power these days.
Microsoft, like, right. We're just gonna let him run some kind of stolen technology. Fuck. What's cracking?
Yep. It's still coming through all wonky on the actual stream. Catching like one word every 5 words or something like that.
Like that. Oh.
Testing.
1s, 2s, 3s.
Yeah, all right, let's see. Hopefully that'll last. But so what were we even talking about?
I refreshed. My shit's refreshed now. I don't even remember anything.
Right, man. Welcome to Liberty Pool, people. How's it going? Right.
You and the
It is,
camera
of course, Friday.
Shit's freaking out, man.
Right. Like doing around the world and shit, man. Yep, climate change. It's a myth. In case you didn't know. It's all fucking a money scam. Big old fucking scheme trying to steal your money.
It's a vicious cycle.
Right.
Respect the whole save the world, but that's definitely not the case. You know what I'm saying? I think that the climate changes, and we know damn well just by looking at sediment, fucking tells you stories from eons ago.
All right. If I can listen to the colors of the wind, you could paint with the colors of the mountain. Right. If you listen to the echoes of the mountain, you can paint with the colors of the wind. It's fucking knowledge been passed down from fucking generations, from generation to down to Disney. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Ukraine, motherfucking Ukraines. All right, so Biden to sign agreement to fund Ukraine's war with Russia for the next 10 years.
A decade. What the fuck?
All right. It's years with a Y. All right. All right. So Democrat President Joe Biden is planning to sign a massive 10-year security agreement with Ukraine. The deal will see American taxpayers locked in to fund Ukraine's endless war with Russia for at least another 10 years. The decade-long agreement was first discussed by Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky in April. At the time, Zelensky said that the countries were working to ensure specific levels of support for this year and for the next 10 years, including arms support, financial, political, and joint arms production. Biden administration officials said the new agreement guarantees that the U.S. would continue supporting Ukraine even if President Donald Trump wins the 2024 election. The Washington Post reported, right? There's that whole thing, just endless war. Donald Trump doesn't have a choice. He's just got to keep it going, keep the ball rolling because it's been set in stone by Biden. All right. See, should Trump get sworn in for a second term in the White House, he would likely seek to end funding of the endless foreign war. However, Trump would also likely move to end the war rather than allow it to escalate. On Wednesday, Biden's national security advisor Jake Sullivan told reporters, quote, "We want to demonstrate that the U.S. supports the people of Ukraine, that we stand with them, and that we'll continue to help address their security needs, not just tomorrow, but out into the future." All right. Not to mention our security needs. Those get put on the back burner, right? A bit of a side tangent, but there's also what was it, like 6 fucking known terrorists that were vetted and sent
I think
into
it's
the
up to
interior of the
8 now,
country.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But known fucking terrorists, known, death to America. I want to fucking blow up buildings, fucking la 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 la, fucking Aloha snack bar, fucking terrorists, right?
From
That were
the same
you broke up real quick again.
2 years ago. Attack in Russia, man.
Yeah, those same motherfuckers that shot up the, what was it, a concert in Russia?
Yup.
And this lag is killer. It's fucking Hamas, man. It's Ukraine. Ukraine's fucking
under
intercepting us.
taxes.
Right.
Yeah, but dude, you want to say this is taxation without representation, but it's even worse. This is borrowing at fucking interest to fund a war without representation, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody wants this shit except for fucking Cocaine Mitch and those involved in the laundromat.
Right. Those who stand to fucking financially gain from your children being blown up by Russians.
Yeah, and all it is Democrats, fucking again weaving a web that's going to affect future fucking presidents, not just Trump. Trump's going to be a one-term regardless. You know what I mean? If he gets in, that's it. And if he doesn't, he's not going to run again. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking simple.
Yeah,
so it's going to be another president after that that's going to have their fucking hands tied with endless shit. And then who's to say this war is going to end, in 10 years? And then what? The money just keeps fucking, right? Of course.
Yep.
At that point.
That's when the fucking proxy war omnibus bill, right? I'm sure by then we're going to be in several other proxy wars. I mean, that's just kind of our thing. We're in the era of fucking proxy war.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I don't know.
They got contractors over there fighting. Fucking, volunteers is what they're calling them.
Right. Yep. Fucking mercenaries. Yeah, fucking war for hire. Fucking scumbags, most people call them. Yeah. Yeah. But see, the agreement does not specify an exact dollar amount the U.S. must send to Ukraine and doesn't require American troops to be deployed to defend the country, according to the Post. Officials did say, however, that the deal promises that the U.S. would hold high-level consultations with Kiev within 24 hours if Ukraine is attacked again. If Russian President Vladimir Putin thinks that he can outlast the coalition supporting Ukraine, he's wrong. We will keep throwing money at this until the end, till he finally gives up. Right? That's our plan. Just fucking keep throwing money at him until he finally gets tired of, money being thrown. That'll show him.
Dude, it's stupid, bro. I mean, if you really think about it, they're doing the reverse, bro. It's the old Uno reverse card of fucking what Reagan did to Russia. You know what I mean? Outspent. Right. So there was no more. Yes, we're in fire. You mean?
I would know what you mean, but this connection's coming through terrible.
Wiggity.
It's funny. You got like 5 words, and then just the last thing you got was, know what I mean?
No,
Right. Feel me? I think so. I think we're on the same page. Yeah, if I can.
Just froze. I don't know if that's me or you, man. I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said on the stream, I think mine's still coming through pretty solid. I think yours is the one that keeps freezing up on the stream. But yeah, let's see. But yeah, never-ending funding for Ukraine. That's what's on the Biden administration's agenda. You see, the U.S. sends far more military support to Ukraine than any other country in the world. In April, Congress passed another bipartisan foreign aid package that included another $61 billion for Kiev as its war against Russia continues. 14 other countries, including the UK, France, Germany, and Italy, have signed bilateral agreements with Ukraine during the G7 meeting on Thursday. World leaders agreed to loan Ukraine $50 billion this year. The funding will be backed by frozen Russian assets, ABC News reported. Officials said these funds will be used to support Ukraine's military budget, humanitarian needs, and reconstruction. Ukraine is still going to have a large financial need next year and beyond, and this summit is our best chance to act collectively to close the gap, a senior Biden administration official said. This agreement is a signal from the leading democracies of the world that we're not going to fatigue and defend Ukraine's freedom, that Putin is not going to outlast us. Right? So, finish on that note on this one. And in other news, let me find it real quick. In other news, Ukraine has put out a not hit list, right? Definitely not a hit list from Trumpist to communists, the forces in the U.S. impeding aid to Ukraine and how they do it, right? Because the democracies of the world have agreed democratically, right? The people have all agreed that we want to continue funding these wars forever, right? Because democracy is not going to wane on funding foreign wars forever, right? Because democracy has decided, right? The people, we want these foreign wars to continue forever, right? That's the way that we've chosen, through democracy, right? But obviously this article, or it's actually really long. We're not going to get through much of it. We're really just going to kind of talk about it a little bit, but would suggest different, right? Would suggest that a lot of these people have been impeding the aid to Ukraine, right? By using democracy, right? By basically changing people's minds, changing people's opinions, and what most of us would actually consider spreading the truth of what's going on, with their money. But of course, that's a bad thing in the eyes of the Ukrainian non-governmental organizations, right? But let's see. This project is funded exclusively by the readers of texty.org UA. You can support work here, blah, blah, blah. This is a statement of facts, neither a quote list of enemies nor a kill list. This article has sparked a swift and organized wave of hate on social media platform X based on manipulative accusations. Therefore, we find it necessary to provide an explanation for our readers to draw their own conclusions after reviewing the material. The table of research subjects, which has generated the most controversy, is neither a list of enemies of Ukraine nor a kill list, as it has been labeled in numerous posts circulating on platform X. All right, pause right there real quick. Gonzalo Lira. All right, let's go ahead and continue on now. Right. I believe he was on one of these lists previously, correct? He got jailed for his crimes, his thought crimes, and he happened to die in said jail for his thought crimes. So yeah, forgive us if we're not too open to. Oh, that's definitely not a a list of enemies. That's definitely not what it is. All right. Let's see. The data collected The data collected and published solely is public solely to demonstrate the evidence supporting these presented in the article. The article itself is not an accusation, but a study of the political and media context that influences government decisions regarding further support for Ukraine in the Russia-Ukrainian war. The editorial team of Texty.org does not deny, condemn, or dispute the right of American citizens, media, and institutions to express any opinions or hold any political beliefs. We value and respect freedom of speech, which is essential for a democratic state or a democratic society. Right. In turn, we reserve the right to investigate a topic directly related to the preservation of Ukrainian statehood, present evidence, state facts, debunk false arguments, and compare them with those propagated by Russian propaganda worldwide for decades. Since the beginning of the Russian-Ukrainian war, unfortunately, this part of our research was not as popular among readers. Right? So just real quick, we reserve the right to investigate a topic directly related to the preservation of Ukrainian statehood. This is our money. This is the money of our people. This is not the money of Ukrainian people, right? This isn't the tax revenue collected from the people of Ukraine, is it? It doesn't seem like this is necessarily Americans' top priority, right? Your preservation of Ukrainian statehood, not our fucking concern, right? If anything, you should be fucking kissing our asses for the hundreds of billions of fucking dollars that we've sent you already, right? But they're basically saying that these are the people that are changing public opinion and basically making it to where the people don't want to just blindly send money to a corrupt nation, right? A provably corrupt nation, right? Even just within recent history, they fucking suspended elections until the war with Russia is won, until all of Ukraine has been made whole again, right? In other words, never, right? They
eliminated 11 opposing political parties. That's the fucking, that's the antithesis of the democracy.
Right. Shut down fucking churches, right? They can, as we already mentioned, have had journalists arrested and fucking killed, right? These people are fucking horrific people, right? We should not give two shits about these people or their fucking sovereignty. I mean, ultimately, they, like I said, they're not much different than Russia, politically, ethnically, even fucking culturally, right? I mean, they've always been part of fucking Russia, right? It's not our motherfucking problem, but for them to just basically come out and act like it's our fault that you guys cannot defend yourselves because we're not giving you enough of our money for you to be able to defend yourself. Go fuck yourself, man. Like, go fuck right off with that, man. That's ridiculous. All right.
Yeah.
And then to make an entire fucking list of American citizens that you deem to be, problematic because of the fact that, again, they're basically changing public opinion on again, we democratically decided that we want to send you all of our fucking money to perpetuate war for, inevitably, right? There's nothing democratic about this. It's basically going to go on either way. You're basically pointing out political enemies, right? Because the government doesn't give two fucking shits what the people think, right? If 99% of the population says fuck Ukraine, that 1% of fucking government workers and fucking, deep state officials are going to say, nope, we're still sending all your fucking money there, right? There's nothing democratic about any of the fucking warmongering that America does, right? As the saying goes, you can't be an empire abroad and a republic at home. That's not the way that it fucking works, all right? We don't get a fucking say in any of our foreign affairs. So, you're basically making a list of fucking people that you deem to be enemies, all right?
I mean, and you do by also re-electing fucking people that have like a 20% approval rating for fucking decades at a time. You know what I mean? And again, this is fucking, beyond taxation without representation. They're plotting to steal your fucking great grandkids' fucking income to pay for this war.
Possibly their
With
lives.
interest. Right, exactly. Yep, with the conscription involved in this as well. And don't think that old Joe Biden's and them wouldn't love to be in a full blown war because wartime presidents typically get reelected.
Right. Yep. I don't know. This one might be a special case, though. I mean, I think there's a lot of people out there that realize, like, the
Jesus
majority
enigmatic,
of this,
that
the
he's the
majority of this
Trojan
is,
corpse.
yeah. I mean, especially the fucking foreign leaders and shit. I think a lot of the voters in America, though, realize that, like, a lot of this is a result of Joe Biden's either weakness or his just plain out fucking corruption. You know, is his fucking financial ties to Ukraine. That's definitely, the majority of people could see that that's definitely making a major impact in his decision making when it comes to war with Russia, right? And then just again, in terms of like China and stuff like that, Xi Jinping can just look at Joe Biden and say, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. You're not going to do a thing about it because you're a fucking bitch. All right. And obviously paraphrasing, but that's essentially what Xi Jinping and the rest of the fucking world leaders are doing. Right. They see Joe Biden at these fucking, these G7 summits, doesn't know which way to fucking stand, doesn't know which direction to look in, fucking, foreign leaders are literally having to direct him and say, oh, come stand over here. Like it's
And
fucking
snatch him up
embarrassing.
from wandering off. Yeah.
Right.
And what's even funnier though, 6 of the 7 of those world leaders all are like, in political fucking turmoil. You know what I mean? All of them are either on the way out or their political hold is crumbling.
Right. Yep. That's another, I mean, sign, a good sign is basically that the EU has held its elections this past week, and it's looking pretty right wingy, right? Pretty populist in terms of a lot of the people that are getting elected, right? So yeah, but what was it fucking did what's going on with Emmanuel Macron, right? Is he out, or is he just like, I don't know, are they just doing re-elections, or what the fuck's going on with that guy?
Primary and European fucking governments are, there's like 30 fucking, so to get like 20% is huge. You know what I mean? And apparently, her party took, the majority. And so then he basically dissolved, the parliament and was like, we're going to have a snap election, which it could be political suicide, or it we'll see. We'll see
Right.
how it goes, man. I mean, he could turn out with a supermajority all of a sudden because fortifications and whatnot, right? But
Right.
and France tends to call their elections like that night. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like they don't fuck around. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, fucking, we could see a more nationalist, Europe. Shit, might even see the European Confederation rather than European Union.
Yeah, that'd be good times, man. And you mean in Germany as well? You see the same thing. Obviously, the Netherlands. I mean, it's happening.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, people are waking up.
It's
Endless.
Enough's finally becoming enough. As Bongino would say, it's bad enough. I haven't been marking these off. I gotta see where we're at real quick.
Like the Rainbow Roads. It's Rainbow Roads.
Strawberry fields.
Felonies for kids on mopeds, dude. What the fuck? What's cracking, dude? What's really happening here?
It's the collapse of Western civilization.
I saw this meme the other day. It was pretty great, dude. It said, "This is your God now," and it was like a church, and it was all lit up, fucking with rainbows and shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Dude,
Yeah. Really, the original, fucking churches and stuff like that. Like, basically anything that's like first is like First Baptist or First Methodist or First this or First that. Those are all the fucking gay churches and shit now. All right. Like, and all of the original churches and stuff like that, those are all the ones that have decided on gay marriage and shit like that. All of the fucking modern churches that they call fucking Christian nationalists and fucking evangelists and all those types of other Democrat buzzwords and shit like that. Those are the ones that are actually more, I guess, moralistic and more have more traditional values and shit like that. But yeah, the majority of the actual churches that have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years now, those are all the ones that went gay. Those are all the ones fucking performing gay marriages and shit like that. Right? Those are all the ones that went progressive.
Recruitment's down. Fucking do roll out the rainbow carpets.
Right. Sure. Fucking, I mean, we don't need to go off of like exactly what it says, It's all about loving yourself, man.
It's like here in the United States, dude, you got whole parties that only support fucking amendments when it suits them at the moment. Other than that, it's abolish free speech. It's abolish the right to self-defense. It's,
right.
Abolish the Supreme Courts is even.
Rules for these, but not for me's, man. Like, we need to make sure that we have separation of powers and shit like that, because we can't have the Supreme Court coming in and fucking overruling our legislation and shit like that. But at the same time, the legislation should go ahead and force the Supreme Court to recuse themselves in the Donald Trump case.
Right.
Welcome to leftism. Fucking retarded. Fucking retarded.
Yep.
But bump stock ban, that got over fucking turned, right? I'll be honest, I probably still wouldn't fucking get one just because ammunition is fucking expensive. I ain't trying to fucking do all that shit like fucking look cool. Blah, 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 blah. Well, that's fucking $15. Yeah,
right.
I'm cool.
So
I missed that last part. You broke up again.
blows, dude. The pistol brace. Was in on there.
Yeah. Fucking pistol brace. That one got thrown out too. I actually got a pistol brace. I was actually quite stoked about that one. I didn't have to use the damn fucking buffer tube against my face anymore. I just use a pistol brace. Totally braced against my arm. Definitely never touches my shoulder. Scout's honor, never touches my shoulder ever. I never shoulder fire my pistol. I would not do that. All right. But yeah, bump stock ban, man. Fucking, so obviously this was like I say, one of my grievances against the first Trump administration, because this, like I said, this opened the door for the ATF to basically start trying to write their own laws, and they just call them rules instead, right? And it's basically what started the whole, let's ban this part. Let's ban magazines. Let's ban certain types of triggers. Let's ban this. Let's ban that. Let's ban this part. That's what basically kind of opened the door for that. And so, hopefully with this court decision, a lot of these ATF rules are basically just going to be kind of shot down right at the gate now. All right. Yeah. And that's my hope. Obviously we ain't no fucking legal scholars here and shit like that, but we pay attention a little bit, and so it would make sense, legal precedent and whatnot.
Yeah, legal precedent, dude. We'll see how that's being used, man.
All right. Message is hidden due to suspicious content. What are you sending me, bro?
Gateway pundit, man.
Wow. All right. Fucking free speech platform, everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Right. Suspicious fucking content. The Gateway pundit. Fucking update. Judge dismisses InfoWars bankruptcy. Alex Jones released a statement after victory in court. See, as reported earlier, a federal judge on Friday ordered the liquidation of Alex Jones's personal assets. Judge Christopher Lopez approved Alex Jones' request to convert a Chapter 11 business reorganization bankruptcy to a Chapter 7 personal bankruptcy. However, the judge on Friday afternoon dismissed the bankruptcy reorganization of InfoWars and its parent company's Free Speech Systems. According to the Associated Press, Alex Jones smiled after the judge tossed out his company bankruptcy. Jones is able to keep his company, his studio, and all social media accounts for now. Right? Legal experts say the Sandy Hook families could go back to the bankruptcy court and demand Alex Jones liquidate his company to pay off the Sandy Hook debt. The AP reported a federal judge on Friday ordered the liquidation of conspiracy theorist Alex Jones' personal assets, but dismissed his company's separate bankruptcy case, leaving the future of his InfoWars media platform uncertain, as he owes $1.5 billion for false claims that the Sandy Hook elementary school shooting was a hoax. Right? It's I don't know if any of you guys play spades or fucking hearts or anything like that. Basically, or they have books and shit like that. But basically, there's a whole thing called reneging, right? Where basically, if somebody throws out a card, or if somebody throws off suit and then they come back in that suit later, that's a renege, right? You're supposed to follow suit, but you didn't follow suit, and now you're coming back with that same suit that you claimed you didn't have. That's a renege, right? But the thing is, if you call out somebody's renege and actually it turns out that they didn't renege, you fucking lose, right? Game over, you lost. So almost kind of like the same thing that they're doing with Alex Jones here, right? So he called out, he thought he had an opinion. He's like, oh no, that I call bullshit on that, right? And now you lose, right? Like in $1.5 billion fucking lawsuit. They're trying to liquidate your assets. They're fucking trying to shut down your speech. They're trying to shut down your access to social media, to just society in general, right? Basically, you call them wrong, you fucking lose your life, right? That's obviously not the way that America is supposed to work. Obviously, this is highly politicized, but that's just the way that it kind of stands out to me, right? He made a bad call and they destroyed his fucking life. So, but it's good to see that he's at least coming to. He's going to be able to again, InfoWars, we don't know, but it's seeming like he's going to be able to keep his company, perhaps.
I haven't lost a child, man. I'm sure that's fucked up, dude. You know what I'm saying? But I can't, in my mind, anywhere think that, if I did, and someone said, I think that didn't happen, that I would be like, I want to destroy this person's life and take their kids' inheritances and fucking tens of people's jobs, and you know what I'm saying? So on and so on. Absolutely ridiculous, man.
Right.
1.5 billion. What the fuck?
And it's clearly political, and obviously you feel bad for the families even further, just because of the fact that how their loss has been so politicized, right? So if the families were to want Alex Jones to liquidate everything he owns and basically sell off his only means of making any sort of money whatsoever in order to actually pay you back, I doubt that's what the families would actually want. Right? If anything, I'm sure they'd be totally fine with just fucking getting structured settlements from Alex Jones for the rest of his life. Right? They'd basically make Alex Jones their fucking slave. Right? I'm pretty sure they'd be fine with that. So a lot of this stuff is basically just the government politicizing the family's lawsuit, the family's loss, and basically it doesn't matter what the family wants. It's whatever the fucking government wants. Obviously, they're over here trying to seize Alex Jones's fucking social media accounts. Do you really think that the families of the Sandy Hook people are trying to do that? No, that's clearly fucking for political reasons, right? They're clearly being coached on what to request. I doubt most of them are even doing it themselves. I'm sure it's all being filed through lawyers, through whatever. Right. They're just basically being you're this fucking political pawn.
You're gonna get riches,
right? And meanwhile, they're just being drug along as a political fucking tool.
Yeah. Yeah, completely, man. I agree. 100%, dude. It's fucking, just like sacrificial fucking lamb, old fucking Joneses, man. And like I'm saying earlier, dude, like Like if someone said that shit, I can understand wanting to punch him in the throat, but never would I think I'm going to sue that guy for saying something.
Right.
Definitely not a normal thought process for an average person, I would assume anyway.
All right. And I'm pretty sure Alex Jones is the type of dude that, if he was proven wrong and all this and that, I'm pretty sure he'd let you punch him in the face. Right. That's the type of dude that he is. An eye for an eye, man. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Alex Jones is going to be okay. It doesn't matter if Alex Jones is fucking penniless, if he has absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter if they took the fucking shoes off of Alex Jones's feet and gave them to these fucking to the families and stuff like that. Alex Jones is going to be all right. You know why? Because Alex Jones is a fucking folk hero. Alex Jones is a fucking legend, right? Alex Jones will be taken for real, dude. Alex Jones will be taken care of no matter where he goes. Alex Jones has so many fucking connections with just, well-off people that, have love for Alex Jones, because Alex Jones is a genuine dude, right? He's a little bit fucking eccentric. He's a little bit fucking crazy. He gets really worked up. He gets really passionate about things. But ultimately, everybody that you see that's not part of the political sphere that ends up meeting Alex Jones, fucking Mike Tyson, Joe Rogan, all these people, they immediately just, I don't know why the media demonizes him so much. He's a really nice guy. He's a really genuine guy. Like, he loves his family. He loves his, he loves his country. Like, I don't see what's so scary about the guy. Like, obviously, the media makes him out to be fucking, Hitler fucking mixed with the Klan, mixed with fucking, I don't know, some other, super racist-y, whatever fucking buzzword thing. Right?
It's just because he gets a lot of views and his character, he's a fucking lunatic.
Right. And because
there's a difference between Alex and Alex Jones.
Right. Who? Alex Jones. Right. But yeah, I mean, obviously, like I say, he's gonna be all right. Just I forgot what I was gonna say right now. I do that from time to time.
Inner zone. Like you said, he'll be all right. Time that the dude could just post, and he'll be fine. He'll make a bunch of cash.
Right. Yeah, freaking ad revenue right there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're immediately gonna seize it. Right. But that's the thing too. Like I said, dude, he could literally fucking work like a slave. Just, fucking get every single thing that he makes fucking seized. Right. I don't think Alex Jones would give one, flying fuck if he didn't make a single dollar from InfoWars for the rest of his life. Again, he's taken care of. And for Alex Jones, yeah, he gets to keep InfoWars, which is his thing, right? That's who Alex Jones is. That's who he's always been, right? Even if he doesn't make any money off it, I don't think Alex Jones is so much about, the money that is made off of InfoWars. I think he's about the message that InfoWars sends. So I think Alex Jones would be more than happy to take that fucking type of deal, And at the same time, he wouldn't have to worry about, having a place to sleep, having food, having, a roof over his head, anything like that. Like I said, he's a fucking folk hero and he's a fucking legend, dude. People will take care of this man, right? Much in the same way with Trump and his legal legal bills and shit like that. As we saw when Trump was found guilty on all 30 whatever fucking counts of paying off a fucking hooker, immediately all the citizens just rallied, just boom, here's a couple bucks, here's a couple bucks, here's a couple bucks. Like, dude made fucking like $200 million in a week. Like,
right.
He's gonna be all right, Yep. I guess that brings you back to the age-old question: is it better to be feared or loved? As we're seeing, it's usually the latter, and that usually takes you a bit farther in a society, I guess it also really depends on your status too. You know, if you're just like a low ball dude, if you're just faking middle class, run of the mill, you should probably want society to fear you. Right? But if you're in a position of power, it's probably better society needs to love you. You know.
Yep. What's the next one?
Fucking Merrick Garland held in contempt. But not really, though, because of course Merrick Garland's not going to prosecute himself, right? But what this really points out, though, is the stark contrast between, the Biden administration's DOJ and the Trump administration's DOJ, right? Because of course, as we mentioned earlier, Steve Bannon, fucking Peter Navarro are both being arrested and sent to jail for literally the exact same thing that Merrick Garland is being held in contempt for right now. The only difference is this administration's Department of Justice has decided, oh, well, when Merrick Garland did it, it's not a crime, right? There's absolutely nothing to see here, nothing to worry about. Everybody's just tripping. This is all just, political witch hunt, what have you, right? It's all just garbage. But let me see if I can find the. Nope, I lost that article. But anyway, it's like I said, clear representation of the double standard of justice that we have, here in America. Now, it might not even really be a double standard. It's just the American standard of justice that we have today because of the fact that our Department of Justice has been, made into a joke, right? Our judicial system in general has been made into a joke. And, like I said, it just points out the clear, contrast. It lets you know that this is truly political lawfare and nothing more. Right. And that's how countries die. Right. That's the death of nations. That is the death of systems. Right. There's a reason that we have, things like separation of powers. There's a reason that, the Department of Justice is not supposed to be politicized in any way. And it is exactly because this is the way it's going to go, right? There is legal precedent is a thing, right? Things tend to snowball once you get them rolling downhill, all right? So, yeah, just like I said, clear, stark contrast. Merrick Garland did the exact same thing as Trump's DOJ, except Trump's DOJ gets thrown in jail. And Merrick Garland, they're not going to prosecute. And it was all over the Robert Hur investigation tape, right? Basically, Robert Hur was the special counsel appointed to go ahead and investigate and possibly bring up charges on Joe Biden for the mishandling of classified documents, which of course there is a stark difference between Donald Trump's case for the exact same thing and Joe Biden's case. And it is that when Joe Biden did said thing, he was not acting within the context of a president. He was a vice president at the time, right? He was a vice president with all of these classified documents in his garage, right? Next to his Corvette. Right, the same place where his crackhead son was living at, and currently smoking crack at the time. Who knows who could have gone in and out of that place? And again, they were found in his garage, right? As opposed to Donald Trump, who was at the time sitting president, which gives him declassification powers. And again, where Donald Trump had his was at Mar-a-Lago in a secured safe that had been approved by the National Archives Department. All right. Very, very different. The only thing is with special counsel Robert Hur, during his interview, he came to the conclusion that he does not see how a jury would basically find Joe Biden guilty because of the fact that he is a, quote, frail old man. I don't know if it's quote, because he's basically a frail old man with a bad memory, right? So that's the entire thing is basically it. we want to get the audio tapes from this interview. All right, we want to get the audio tapes from the interview because that's they've sent out the transcripts already. The transcripts has been released through Congress, and it has a lot of damning stuff in there, from basically Joe Biden not being able to remember when he was vice president, not being able to remember when his son Beau died of brain cancer, and basically just being General Joe Biden, and generally, I'm sorry, and it's also come to light too that the transcript was actually doctored, right? So I'm assuming that means a lot of these is stumbling, his true under pressure, that type of stuff was taken out, where normally it would be written down as inaudible or unintelligible or something like that, right? So basically, what they're trying to do is Congress is trying to subpoena the Department of Justice to release the audio tapes from that interview. And of course, it's a political thing, but that's, as we mentioned, for the past 2 years, that is quite literally the only power that Congress has right now. As we talked about with the National Defense Authorization Act earlier, a lot of this stuff is going to get shot down in the Senate, right? So they're able to push some of this, stuff through because of the fact that they have a slight majority in Congress right now. But what they're really able to do with their slight majority in Congress, seeing as they don't have the Senate, is political shit, right? They're able to do shit like call in Hunter Biden, hold him in contempt of Congress. They're able to hold, Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress. They're able to, conduct interviews regarding censorship during the 2020 election. They're able to bring a lot of this stuff to light, right? And so one of the things that they're trying to do is get this audio tape out, because obviously it's a 5-hour interview of Joe Biden talking candidly for 5 fucking hours. Do you know how politically damning that is going to look? The dude cannot string 2 sentences together. He's put out political campaign videos of him basically just saying, whatever about fucking Donald Trump or whatever. It's like 2 or 3 fucking sentences, like a 15-second clip. And there's like 5 or 6 fucking jump clips where basically they had to doctor together something that sounded coherent, because this dude cannot speak. He cannot think. Right? There's a reason that Hunter Biden is the smartest person that he knows, purely in an intellectual context, right? Because this guy is a fucking moron. And that's basically what they're trying to bring to light. And the fact that Merrick Garland is not going to be prosecuted for being held in contempt for not bringing this stuff that's been congressionally subpoenaed, and again has already been released through transcripts. We just want the actual audio tape now. So there's it's not like there's anything secretive or anything like that. There's not a security risk to it. It's purely because they don't want Joe Biden to look like a motherfucking fool by sounding like a fucking idiot. All right?
I agree with that shit, son. But at the same time, man, the main fucking concern should be whether there is executive privilege or not. Because, Eric Holder with Obama fucking shirked the same shit. It was held in contempt. It claimed fucking executive privilege. And then you had Bannon and Navarro do the same thing with the J6 committee. And then Trump left off, Trump was gone or whatever, completely left office. And of course, then these cats prosecuted him, disregarded that fucking executive privilege. And then now they're using that exact same claim to keep this shit out and to not prosecute Garland. Which, I'd never expected him to. But at the same time, it's like, well, then if executive privilege stands, then, you need not only, release these cats, but clear the record immediately.
Right. Yeah. Shit, set him up with the horse and a pistol. Tell him you're sorry. That's like we used to do back in the old days.
Right.
Right. But yeah, I mean, freaking wait, so what was it that so how is the DOJ able to claim executive privilege? Is it basically that they were working in
with
the
president,
context,
the president
directly for the president?
Yeah, has to be in conjunction where the president says this is executive privilege, and
Right.
And they're like, well, I'm covered, dude. Nothing you can do,
Right.
Bobby.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what the Supreme Court's actually deciding on too. That's the executive immunity, right? Presidential immunity.
That's as far as he's concerned, that has nothing to do with executive privilege that he claims over investigations or operations. You know what I mean? And with
Yeah.
Holder and Obama, that was over Fast and Furious, where we had Border Patrol agents actually get murdered out, and that's they claim to get out of bringing any of it to actual light in front of Congress.
Well, shit. Looks like we won't see how it turns out.
Right. That's what I mean, and it goes right back to what I was saying before. I'm sorry I had to run off, technical difficulties, man. But dude, it's double sided. They use shit when it suits them, and when it doesn't, it's that doesn't exist, or we got to get rid of that, or stack this, or
Right. It's all a game, man. It's all political theater. It's literally a fucking game, Like our system is designed that way, right? It's designed to never actually get anything done. It's basically just to pit two parties against each other. That's all that our shit is. It's all
well, that's what it's morphed into. You know what I mean? It wasn't intended to be that way. Our founders weren't party affiliated.
Right.
They weren't against parties.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, ever since the when did the fucking 270 thing come into play? Has that always been the thing? When did the Electoral College come into play?
It's been around for quite some time. I mean, that's part of almost the original system. Like, it was pretty shortly after the true setting up of the political system, man. But it's what the shit they constantly change. Like the Senate, you weren't supposed to be able to vote them into office. They were supposed to be appointed, and it was supposed to be like a snail situation. You know what I mean? They were supposed to be the more sound minds, basically the House of Lords, dude. You know what I mean? The
Right.
American equivalent, and your representatives were Congress. And they're the ones that appointed the fucking Senate.
Right.
And so it wasn't supposed to be like this. Basically, I mean, it's been twisted and tweaked to fucking fit people's agenda throughout the fucking decades and centuries.
Yeah.
And if there was just a return to that more simple form, I know you got a lot of fucking radicals out here on either side that are, the Constitution's not good, or the Constitution's outdated. Whatever the case is, it's actually, pretty. It's complex, but it's simplistic as well as far as governments are concerned, and pretty beautiful and cut and dry. It's just people now seem to think that words morph as time fucking moves on.
Right. And obviously the general way that things go is you set something up perfectly, and then basically what people are going to do over time is put it to the test, right? And basically we've come to the point where our system has been put so far down through the ringer to the test, that it's basically at the point where it's become unsustainable, where basically everyone's it's a system of gimme dats, and fucking everyone's just vying after what they perceive to be their own personal interest, but really it's neither of it serves the benefit of either party. It's like I say, at the point that we've come to now, it's literally just evolved into pitting two people against each other to fight it out, and meanwhile we reap all the benefits.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, it's pretty obvious who we support, but for the vast majority, and regardless of, again, what you hear cats out here saying, you wouldn't have the resistance and the persecution of Donald J's if he wasn't, what we're telling you he is, basically. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got both sides. I mean, again, regardless, it's hard to say both sides, right? It's fucking one bird, but they're on him like stanks on shats. They're already drawing up fucking impeachment articles, and he hasn't even been fucking voted into office yet.
All right. It's why vice presidents matter this time.
Yep, but they know it's coming, though. Hence the reason for fucking the tying the shackles on him with the Ukraines and shit. They know he's gonna win, so they're like, hey man, we gotta fucking make it to where he can't cut it off when he gets in.
Right.
Pretty obvious there.
Yeah, like we said, though, I mean, the only thing that he's really, can do, and the only thing that I think, is really only capable to be done by Trump is, end it. If they can come to a peace talks. But yeah,
You won't be able to end it though. That's the key. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're trying to lock that shit in. They're like,
well,
you just hold it down. You just keep fighting, old Zelensky's in your sweatsuits, and Trump's going to be a one-termer.
If they could get both sides to basically come to agreement to stop fighting, well then who are we going to be funding for 10 more years? If neither of them is fighting anymore. Right, yeah, that's true. It does actually say that in there. That's what it's going to be for, like in rebuilding and all that bullshit. But what about reparations, man? Who's going to pay those back?
I want reparations as too, dude. I mean, there was white people were slaves for fucking hundreds of years before they even knew black people existed. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, fucking war reparations.
Right.
Yeah, like fucking don't we usually make the loser fucking pay for shit over time, over the next fucking 50 years or some shit, just pay everything back. Worked in the past,
right?
Temporarily. Right. Let's talk about motherfucking Hunter Biden. Right. So obviously, like I said, wasn't the verdict that we were expecting. We were expecting, he's just the city boy, born and raised, and wherever the fuck he was raised. But he's just going through hard times and stuff like that. Anybody in that position would have been, struggling twice as hard as Hunter Biden, because they would be half the man that Hunter Biden is, right? And he's just this great guy. Oh yeah, he wasn't smoking
service detail,
right? Right. Yeah, he wasn't smoking crack when he went to go buy that gun, man.
He's been sober for 11 days.
11 days.
You gotta give credit where credit's due. Disregard the text immediately after the purchase, trying to hit up Mookie for some crack. Mookie.
right. Motherfucking Mook, man.
Yep. Mook's got them slightly yellow rocks, man.
Right.
Them ear ringers, bro.
America's in your debt, Mookie. Thank you for turning the current at that time is fucking was he vice president at that time when he bought the he was vice president, I think. No, it was in 2018.
2017.
Yeah, 2017. Yeah, so fucking Trump was in office then, but yep. So yeah, fucking either way, thanks Mookie for getting that fucking piece of shit son turned down to fucking crack cocaine, so that way we could fucking save the country.
It's so fucked up, man. Refresh, dude. Fuck with the modem, but now I feel like it's running smooth. But now I feel like I'm on a fucking palm quarter or something from 1998.
Fucking getting the tracers, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no tracers.
Right. So the Hunter Biden case really just lets you know that I guess that the liberals really care about that fucking gun control way more than they care about Joe Biden. Right. But yeah, obviously it was a bit of a dividing factor when it came to it really is just it set people all over the place, right? It had the lefties arguing for crackheads being able to buy guns, and it had the people on the right arguing for gun control. It was absolutely fucking ridiculousness.
And it also had people on the left arguing like, see, the justice system's fair. It's not biased.
Right. So that was the political implication, right? And the fact that they're all sitting here pointing that out lets you know that that's what the plan was all along, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're basically using Hunter Biden as a ploy, right? Basically, like, oh, like you said, oh, we, see, justice isn't corrupted and stuff like that. Like the president's son is going to be going to prison. Like, no, he's not. Yeah, but all right, but yeah, obviously it's like you say, you just have to read what the other side is doing, and that's basically what lets you know what the actual reality is, right?
But they're
It's
so grimy at this point, dude. Like, you got options. Like,
right.
you know what I mean? The shittiest things you can think of and stuff. Like, name your top 6. They're
Right.
probably all happening.
Sure. Yeah,
Just in this one case. You know what I mean? Stopgaps and whatnot.
Sure. Yeah, but so personally, in my opinion, like I said, what we really want is we want Hunter Biden for anything that connects him to his dad. That's the only thing that actually matters, right? In terms of guns controls and all that type of stuff. Obviously, I'm against that question on the 4473. I don't think it belongs there. I think it's unconstitutional. I think it's obviously forcing yourself to self-incriminate in some sort of capacity. And again, I don't think that based off of the personal choices that you make, how you choose to, the substances you choose to ingest and stuff like that, and especially, you could compare it to alcohol, right? I mean, alcohol is America's favorite fucking drug. It always has been, but there's never been any sort of, constitutional law basically saying that, right? We do heroin, man. Yeah, but there's never been any sort of law saying that, like, oh, well, if you drink too much alcohol, you're not allowed to own guns, right? There's been laws saying that if you get drunk at like bars or something like that, you're not allowed to have your gun on you. But it doesn't say that you're not allowed to purchase guns because you like to drink, right? Never has anything said that. But why does it say that about other drugs and stuff like that? All right. So of course,
It's just fucking shall not be infringed, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, gun control in general, any of the fucking, bullshit that they try to pass. The fact that we have to fill out a 4473 in general, which is in essence a form of gun registration, basically, it's completely unconstitutional. Right. Yeah. Obviously, like I said, I don't think he should be, charged with it because I don't think it should be a crime. And obviously it's entirely political. It's entirely political. I hate our justice system.
Yeah, and I hate that fucking, the shenanigans that go on in this country will have you arguing in favor of people that you really think are fucking trolls. You know what I mean? It's not even just Hunter. I mean, we've talked about this before with the police and, you know what I mean? Different structures in government. And you know what I mean? Like, I fucking hate Republicans. You know what I'm saying? But, because of, previous people, including Trump, it's, that's where you have to vote, man. That's like you said, dude. Two-headed monster we've devolved into, like,
right?
And it has you always arguing in favor of shit you probably wouldn't support otherwise.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, with our system and stuff, third parties are never meant to fucking work. The only thing it's we don't ever have a third party come in and overtake and boot another
party
it's not
out because of the system, though. It's because of the media blacklists them and other politicians clown them and act like they don't exist. And you know what I mean?
I just mean basically in order to actually change parties and stuff like that, like in order to change the way that the direction of a party and stuff like that, you don't start a new party and just bring in shit like that. You basically go in and infiltrate the old party, scrap their old ways, and basically introduce the new philosophy. And that's basically what MAGA is becoming. And it's essentially a more nationalist form of libertarianism. And so really, like I say, it's libertarianism was never meant to be a fucking political party, right? Libertarian Party is the most ridiculous idea that there ever was. It's a collective of anti-collectivists. It doesn't make any sense, and so obviously there is zero direction to it. The only thing that they could agree on is liberty, but nobody could decide on what liberty actually means or what it actually is or any of that, right?
That's what I say. His name is Chad.
Right. So obviously, it's really, like I say, it's more of a kind of a guiding philosophy. You know, you should basically, it's the idea that you should be looking more for the free will of the people in order to, you know, implement change and to basically run society rather than forcing government, or voting for government to force other people to live the way that you want, right? It's basically, like I said, it's the basic principle of less government, more freedom. It's basically, you could put it in a nutshell.
Yeah, libertarianism is a great philosophy, man. In philosophy,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It really is, dude. And in a fucking perfect world, dude, it could be the perfect system, but unfortunately, that's not where we exist. And human nature and fucking economic limitations exist, dude.
Right. Do you think a lot of our societal problems are, like, obviously they're from the culture and stuff like that, from the culture of fucking, like, gang banging and fucking, dumb shit, modern fucking, musical culture, modern, youth culture and shit like that. Do you think that is, I don't know, just the way that our system ended up taking us, or do you think that was a ideological subversion? Do you think that was the demoralization process, was basically, influencing our basically influencing our influencers,
Yeah, and it started with our fucking parents and shit. You know what I mean? The little fucking hippie goons and stuff. Those are the fools that are in charge right now. And that's where it started. The old Frankfurt School after World War II, and those were the first products. And you're seeing fucking where that ideology will take a country in real time, man.
So in that sense, was Elvis really the devil's music?
No, he fucking stole a bunch of shit from some old blues cats in the South, man. They might have had some devil's music,
Right.
man. The old crossroads and shit.
Down at the crossroads. Yep. Yeah. But yeah, that's really, like I say, it's kind of an interesting, thought, I guess way of looking at it, looking at the past several decades of our society.
Elvis. Goddamn king, son.
Mr. King. Yeah. But yeah, it really does kind of make you wonder, because obviously, after during the Cold War there and stuff like that, that was basically when the ideological subversion really started to be implemented towards American society. And obviously that's when we see, it really seems like the demoralization of America really took place from the baby boomer generation, fucking 2.5 kids, everyone had a white picket fence and shit like that, right after World War II, to basically the hippie generation. And then from the hippie generation all the way, the entire procession that we've got into where now we have people talking about, we have music about how a woman's booty hole is brown. That is what our society has become now, right? All the way from that to that, from the, like I say, the 1950s fucking family road trip and shit like that, to, shaking it in the streets for children,
Yep, and tranny fucking clowns at birthday parties, and it's gone on from story hour to that now. I mean, ridiculous. But like I said, I think it started before that, man. I think it was the children of those fools that fought World War II. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it like I said, because that's who's in control. So it was, obviously it began, before the '80s. You remember, like, Yuri Bezmenov was a defector in early, either late '70s or early '80s. You know what I mean? And he was a defector, so he had already been in the system for, fuck who knows how long. I mean, the guy was at least 50 at the time that he defected. So, and
Right.
so, I mean, it definitely took a couple generations to really fucking get in there.
Yep. It really is crazy to see, like, that shit was fucking real. Like, I'm pretty sure if you would have saw that video back in like the 80s or 90s or something like that, you'd have been like, whoa, that's some pretty deep, that's some pretty, heavy stuff to think about. But you'd probably look around and be like, nah, man, society's all right, but if you look around today, holy fuck, dude. Like it
Right.
was real, man.
Yep.
It was real.
Yep. They ostracized old McCarthy, man, because he was out here like the Red Scare. Everyone's communist and shit, right? People
Right.
still talk about it. McCarthyism. Well, the dude was obviously onto something, man. He was trying to
Nailed it.
let you know.
All right.
And even those who shall not be named, right? Fucking over there in Israel, dude.
Oh,
They yeah, have owned the old motion picture industry here in the United States for many years, and with that old Red Scare, it just so happened to be a whole lot of them people that they were trying to tell you. And guess who? Overthrew the czars in Russia and made Russia communist. Fuck.
all right.
Coincidence? Boom, boom, boom.
Yep. Now, here we are with the Russians at our border. Literally. We've literally come full circle. Literally, the Russians are back in Cuba with nuclear missiles again. That's where we've gotten to.
And you got to think, dude, Putin's actually a pretty patient guy, man, because fucking
yeah.
America's been poking the fucking bear for quite some time. I mean, beyond plots and schemes previous fucking, Trump era. I mean, just with America constantly, Putin spies, Putin's Russia. I mean, if you played a clip of all the times that Russia has been said on American news, it would probably be like 4.5 fucking hours long. You know what I mean?
Right. Do you
Just
think
different heads.
Do you think Putin's hoping, or do you think Putin's waiting to see if Donald Trump gets elected to basically, before, really going any
scale.
farther? You're right. Obviously, like I said, he's been quite patient, up until just recently. Like you said, now he's got warships off the coast of Florida, but like I said, he's been pretty patient with the West, for quite a few years now. Do you think he's just waiting for Donald Trump to get back in office? And also keep in mind that Putin did endorse Joe Biden.
Right.
if that means anything. But do you think he's basically waiting to see, like, if Joe Biden's going to stay in office, the war continues. We keep going, keep taking more land. But
Tacticals.
if Donald Trump gets elected, we need to start looking for an exit plan. Do you think that's their thinking right now?
I mean, I'm sure that plays into it to an extent, but at this point, with the whole BRICS situation and the fact that the rupee that is actually doing better now, than before fucking the sanctions, it's I think it's more of a contingent. I mean, it's he got what he wanted out of the situation, which was a shipping through the Black Sea, and that's why he's laying out peace. He's saying we got what we want, just fucking sign it, dude. Everything's cool. We'll cut it off. But of course,
Right.
the West is like, oh hell no. And you see that Boris Johnson. I mean, he's out here posing with Azov, and even here in Congress, they just lifted the restriction that would transfer funds directly to the Azov battalion. And you got, if you remember, before Putin started, he said, "I'm about to fucking murder the Nazis out in the Ukraine." And
Right.
and here's America like, no, we're going to fund them directly.
But according to that article that we were reading earlier, we didn't get to that part, but it actually addressed that. That's actually Russian propaganda. So,
Right.
Right. There's actually no Nazis in Ukraine, and that's actually Russian propaganda to say something like that.
Them holding the fucking shield with the bolts on it and shit. The
Right.
flag. Definitely an illusion.
Right.
That's AI, man. Fucking Russian generated AI bots.
Right. If I can actually, it's a thought that came to my mind like a week or so ago. If I can remember the fucking, I like Joe Biden better than Trump because he sends rockets to Ukraine. Remember those fucking clowns? All right. Where are those guys at? Where'd they go? Right? Do they not realize that there's gigantic? Right? Did they not realize that there's gigantic kill the Jews rallies all over the fucking country right now? Where are they at? I thought they were fucking all about, fucking, Hail Hitler, and all this and that type shit, right? You would think that they'd be right out there, especially because when it comes to a few years back, when it comes to like, oh, we need some Nazi actors and stuff, or we need some nationalists.
What's that
fucking
fucking group? The Nationalist
Patriot Front.
Yeah,
Patriot Front.
Yeah,
fucking where are all of those so-called fucking
right.
Nazis?
Clean khaki,
right now,
white t-shirt,
right?
Fucking matching underwears, fucking
right. And it's obviously we know where the fuck they're at. Their fucking handlers are telling them, no, you guys stay back, don't join part of this, because of the fact that they are fucking on the side of Israel. These fucking free Palestine protests, those aren't planned by the Democrat Party. All these other fucking, BLM riots, all this other, political violence and shit, those are all planned, orchestrated, fucking paid for by Democrats and their fucking donor class, right? This is not under their control. That's why they're not sending in their fucking goons to go ahead and pretend to be Trump supporters out there, because they don't want this shit to continue. They don't want to send their fucking people in there.
They'll be in there they'll be scrapping each other and shit. It'll be retarded. The
right.
Snake eating its tail, just like the Pride Parade and the Freeze Palestines. Yeah. The actual people that support Palestine, like, in real life, not just as a fucking cultural fucking retardation.
The latest thing.
The left's ideology and theirs definitely do not align. You know what I mean? That's oil and water right there, man. And that's why we fucking run around, laughing at them, and the meme generates, across the inner zones on a daily, man. The fucking, home blows for fucking Palestines and whatnot. I'd be way safer if I was in Palestines.
Right.
Okay, man. All right, you're on your way.
It's like fucking Yuri said, man. You could literally take them by the hand, take them to concentration camp, and they still will not get it. They will still not think that it's real. Like, that's right here. Like, you could literally show them videos of the Palestinians throwing homosexuals and fucking LGBTQs of all shapes and colors and sizes off of fucking roofs, because you could literally show them the fucking text that says that is a fucking crime punishable by death. You could literally show them videos of Hamas and fucking Hezbollah leaders and shit like that saying that no, it is a fucking ultimate sin that is fucking punishable by death. That there is no cure. The only cure is death. But still, they're like, I don't think so. I don't think that's really what they're like. What the fuck?
Way
dude?
More unsafe at like the Trump rallies. I'd be just torn limbs from limbs.
Right.
Like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I mean,
meanwhile,
at most, you'd be laughed out of the building. You know what I mean? At most.
And I'm sure you've seen them all over the internet and shit. There's videos of people that take, hardcore fucking Democrat vote blue no matter who people to Trump rallies, and they just get welcomed in like nuts. I'm like, hey, welcome in. Like, how's it going? Yeah. It's obviously, that's a political smear campaign. It's fucking political propaganda, but
yeah, you know how they say, man, it's all fear mongering. Go outside and talk to your neighbor, and you realize that shit isn't as bad, like as far as society is concerned, as they make it. It's just like I said, it's the most minuscule portion of the population that's dictating the future structure of the fucking goddamn civilization of the West. And it's clown world. That's literal what they'll push, dude. Clown world's just
right. And especially, it's funny too, because they're trying to dictate the fucking future of the West when the West was literally born of anti-dictation. That's literally what Western culture is. It's against fucking dictators, and fucking it's against authoritarianism. It's supposed to be about the liberal world order and shit like that. There's nothing fucking liberal about the West anymore. I mean, in a classic sense, there's libtards, of course, but in an actual sense of liberty, there's no semblance of that in the Western establishment. They've become what they've sworn to destroy.
You do the Chris Plant. You end every fucking one of those stories because they're Democrats.
Yep. Fucking mindless.
Yeah, there is no more liberal or progressive. It's Democrats.
Right.
So
But and,
the two-party systems.
right.
Yours anti-liberties.
You don't even believe in freedom.
Right.
Like reproductive freedom and diversity freedoms.
Open borders freedoms. It's the freedom for movement. That's liberties, bro.
That'd be pretty cool to do like a man on the street, fucking type thing. You just go do interviews and like, what does freedom mean? That's it. Don't give him any more context than that. What does the word freedom mean? Like, what is it?
Go down by the university down the roads, right? That'd be the place to do it. That's where the hilarity would ensue, I'm sure. I mean, and regardless of what anyone wants to read about it, a vast majority of it you could dictate by the melanin.
Right.
Really. I honestly believe that at this point in time, unfortunately, in this country, you'd have more darker people coming at you with a better explanation of what freedom is or constitutes over the white cats. The white cats would be more about trying to get a zinger and be fucking morally superiors in that moment.
And at the same time, the problem is the white cats actually think they're fucking cats and they want litter boxes installed in public restrooms. That's the problem.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah, it's now. Like I say, ultimately, it's not sustainable. It's not something that's going to continue for forever. Like you say, it's got to get to a point.
Well, they're trying. They're trying. I could see an article right now where like Biden and them, they're fighting to give illegals sex changes.
Yeah.
And one of them, they even have an interview with the dude. You know what I mean? Does heavy accent, and he's in a dress and shit. Like, yeah, I mean, Biden's paying for my sex change. You know what I mean? And what the fuck? Dude, they're just blowing your. Like I said, this is why you got people like Chip Roy standing up telling you they're borrowing a fucking $1 trillion a month, man. Wake the fuck up. You know what I mean? And people are still like Netflixes and chills.
Right. Well, that's why I say it's gonna come to a point where it's unsustainable. And I'm not saying that basically like everyone's gonna pull their head out of their ass. I'm saying most people are gonna fucking suffocate that way. Yeah,
you've seen Saudi Arabia just our contract's coming up, dude. It's been like 60 years and the contract's ended, and they're not trying to negotiate a new one. And that's all that's propped us up is this being the petrodollar.
Right.
And
countries
they
sent fucking Joe Biden to voicemail
from that.
They left Joe Biden on red. It's not looking good.
The bitch button, they click.
Right.
They love Trump, man. You see the videos, dude? Like, people aren't even allowed to touch the crown prince, man. And fucking Trump walks in the room and he's patting him down. That fool tripped and he saw who it was and he's like, you know what I'm saying?
Right, dude. Like I said, I've said it, multiple times before, man. The dude embodies the spirit of America, like fucking for all of its faults and all of its fucking, glory and shit, like the dude is basically what you would define as the spirit of America, like down to his cutthroatness, down to his fairness, down to, his compassion, every part of it, it's basically what you would think of, as a modern day American fucking, GW,
Yeah, and everything that the media tried to make him out to be, their edited videos and whatnot, is what Joe Biden really is. And I think it's Maze Moore, I think, on Twitter that has a video with some cuts where it's just nonstop media corrections about how they tried to make Trump out to be this oaf and shit like that on the world stage, like he was failing, and in reality it was all shams, man. Like they show, like, what is it, the leader of Japan there when they're feeding fish and they made it look like Trump just got impatient and threw the thing. In reality, he followed suit behind this guy, and it just goes on and on and on with the corrections. It's pretty fucking good.
How do you spell it?
Maze More, it's Maze. And then more.
Okay, there we go. Let's see. Elon Musk and AOC finally work out their differences. The chemistry these two have is crazy. We'll go ahead and end the show with some of these Maze More clips. This is why the FBI came out with that bogus crime report, so people like Paul Krugman can lie on TV for Biden.
Fucking Krugman, dude.
Shit ever, right?
Right.
Yep. Fucking piece of shit. See, October 2020, Joe Scarborough on people who believe the Hunter Biden laptop was real. History will expose you all as idiots and useful fools for the Russians. Right? It's Russian disinformation paid for by the fucking Hillary fucking campaign. But no, that's not misappropriation of campaign funds, right? That's not fucking
she was fined for it. Her campaign was fined. You know what I mean? They paid a fine.
Yeah.
They
didn't get 100 years though. They didn't get 100 years. Did her lawyers at least get locked up?
Right. Exactly.
Right.
And the same thing with Obama. He misclaimed $2 million of campaign funds that just appeared, and the same thing. He just paid a fine, dude, $100,000.
Fucking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Gee, some of that by administration.
But then people like Dinesh D'Souza, they'll throw him in prison because he over fucking donated the $5,000 limit. Good times.
Right. Shit. It turns out I can't pull it up now anyway. Good old Rumble Studio.
They get salty, that broadband, dude.
Huh?
They try to give Salty that broadband. You gotta flip out on here like Salty does, though.
It's bullshit, man. What the fuck is this, dude? Fucking have to refresh again. Right. Well, guess that's it. Show's over, guys. Thanks, Rumble. Was trying to show you guys a video.
Cut off his live stream. Like, wow, dude. Restart.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Fucking. Yeah.
Still live or not, man? I don't know what's cracking.
Well, I was trying to see if there we go. If this would come up. Unfortunately, dropped out the last minute. Let me see. Okay, so it ever helps his zone. Do. See, there's a few of these different videos on here, so let me go ahead and just pull up one of them.
Facebook having problems and Twitter having problems with a story that even the New York Post knew was a lie. They published a series of lies peddled to them by Rudy Giuliani, who admitted that nobody else would take it but Rupert Murdoch's New York Post, because they might look into it and tell the truth. Here we are in 2020. This is what it's come down to, America. Giuliani is feeding Russian misinformation to Donald Trump and feeding Russian disinformation to the New York Post. They know it's a lie.
Yeah, well,
that's where we are in 2020.
The New York Post
just to let you know that they're still talking to Russians. And by the way, Russian hoax? Come on.
Joining
Really,
us now.
seriously, history will expose you all as fools and useful idiots for the Russians. It's for 4 years now. For 4 years now, there has been a line from Russian agents into the campaign. It's unbelievable how stupid you think Americans are. How stupid you think Americans are. For you can just say Russian hoax. Seriously? It's the idiocy, the sheer idiocy. You are revealed right now, but you will be revealed throughout history for basically running cover for Russians.
And you've got this computer repair shop owner in Delaware who is a staunch Trump supporter and who peddles in conspiracy theories and whose shop is thousands of miles away from where Hunter Biden lives. So you've got a lot of questions here. This whole thing smells bad, Joe. I don't think there's a lot of credence. That's why the FBI is questioning not the Bidens, but Rudy Giuliani. And I think the message here, the lesson here is that if you're going to plan an October surprise, you may want to choose a planner who is not parading around the world with a known Russian secret agent for the last year. Maybe choose a planner that has better peer reviews next time.
So this looks like Russian intelligence. This walks like Russian intelligence. This sounds like Russian intelligence. Every intelligence professional I've been talking to, Mika, says this is a Russian intelligence disinformation
Cheers,
campaign.
guys.
Rudy Giuliani was not fed passively Russian disinformation. He ordered it off the menu.
So do they look into how 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks before an election, someone decided to use a tabloid to, in all probability, know that they were smearing a major candidate against a president that this tabloid was supporting, and whether or not that would fall under a criminal investigation leading to some kind of criminal charges?
Absolutely fucking hilarious, man. Well, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like this video, share this video out with your friends. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know if you feel like we missed anything, if you feel like we missed any points, if you feel like we missed the mark on any of these stories at all. Again, we ain't fucking, political scholars, political analysts, anything like that. We're some regular fucking guys hanging out, getting stoned, talking about the news. But we appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and as always, fuck off.